See the supply shortage becoming less of a problem in the next couple of weeks. The only issue is how fast can it be done. So the faster we are able to address this challenge, the better it is. And everybody's working 24/7 to make it happen.
Do you assess a gap on the ground in terms of, there has been a big push towards digital payments, so on and so forth, but if you look at the raw numbers, in a country of 1.2 billion people, you just have about 740 million credit and debit cards. Even in terms of smartphones, we only have about 120, 150 odd million smartphones. So, in terms of that push towards digital, do you feel that possibly the step has been taken a little too early? There isn't enough of a headroom at this point between, the gap between the potential availability of digital payments is still too large at this point?
Well, there's never a good time for any fundamental reform. Right. So, if we, yes, you could argue that you should have done this 24 months later, right, when you have built the physical infrastructure for right, digital payments. Right. But would we have built that infrastructure right, if we weren't under this kind of pressure that we are today? Right? In any democracy, decision making is very difficult and painstakingly slow. Right. It is no secret, everybody knows that economic reform, right, there is no gain without pain. No, and there are winners and there are losers, which is why it is very difficult to build a political constituency for fundamental economic reform. Right, right. Which is why reform only happens in a period of crisis. Correct, right? So now look at what we are going through from that perspective. Correct. You and I agree that we need fundamental change in this country. Correct. We need to accelerate the pace of development. Right. We need to transform this nation. To transform this nation, we have to change our thinking. Right. Transforming a nation and conducting fundamental economic reform means that there will be some beneficiaries, there will be some losers. Right, right. Difficult to predict who is going to benefit, who is going to not benefit, right? But it's the boldness, the sheer audacity of this decision that creates an enormous opportunity now. Correct. We have jumped off the cliff. Now it is up to you and up to me, up to all of us to take advantage of this opportunity and make it work for the nation. Right.
Just for our business audiences as well, we are seeing the next couple of days there will be some revisions. One is for the CRR, which is of course the hike has recently hurt the banking system. How do you see that moving? The government is now moving towards the MSS bond scheme. Do you feel that will ease the pressure off? Could we see a revision downwards in the CRR, which would help your profitability as well?
No, absolutely. I think the intent of the RBI is very clear. Right. The CRR measure was a temporary one. Right. That's been signaled to the banking system. Right. Now they will replace it with a much larger MSS program, right, and that should address the issue of the loss of earnings.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.